Well, g'day everybody, and thanks for joining me again. Well, as you all remember, my Mavic Pro went for a swim, and here it is here. My mate bought it off me, Tony, who flies the air, and we will do a bit of a comparison footage thing on that too for you one day with the Pro and the Air's footage. I like the Air, it's got a nice camera on it. But today, now this drone here, as you remember, the sensors on the bottom here went a little bit skew with. But everything else works fine on it. Now, he's actually bought himself another Mavic Pro, and the gimbal's actually stuffed on it. So today, I'm going to be taking the gimbal off my old one and putting it on his new one with the good sensors. So we're going to swap these out, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to go get myself ready. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so what you'll need for this operation is one of these. Now it's a 1.5 hex head, a set of tweezers, which is always handy, and a screwdriver, a tiny little screwdriver. Now it's a star screwdriver, a Phillips head. I'm not quite sure of the size, but anyway, that's what you'll need. And that's basically what you need to take one of these things apart. I'll just show you where the screws are now. So what we're looking for here to take the, we only have to take the top off when we're doing the gimbal. You've got a screw here, a screw exactly the same on the other side. You've got a screw there, a screw there, a screw here, a screw there. And that takes care of every screw that's up the top to do that. Now underneath, we have to take this screw out as well as the other side, and we'll flip those little panels up. Now underneath those panels is another screw which you have to undo. And also we undo this screw here and that screw there. Now bearing in mind that most of the screws are the same size, so you can just pop them in one pile. But there are a couple of different sizes, which I'll show you right now. So that's the top one's done. Now we've got, there's actually 6 screws that we have to do here. And obviously, as I said, you can only see 2 of them. So we pop these 2 out here. Now these are the smaller ones that I was talking to you about. Now I generally set these aside separately to the rest of the screws. So I pop them over there. And what I do, you've just got to get underneath these plates here. This is what I generally do, is just chuck it in the hole and just pop it up. Fairly easy. And I put them to the side with the screws that came out with it so I don't forget. We have 2 screws here, one there, under the plates, and obviously the 2 that I said earlier. So I'll just get them. Righto, now we are going to pop the top. Now it's fairly easy to do. There's just a couple of locking clips that are all the way around here. Now normally you'd use a prying tool. I just generally use a butter knife, to be honest. Hear that? Pops up. Now sometimes there's 2 little lugs which are here and here, and sometimes you have to just push them in a little bit just to get the outside to clip them up. But this one come up fairly easily, so that was good. I'll just get my prying butter knife. Righto, so what we do here, we've got to release some lugs here. Now what I generally do is just give it a little bit of a lift, like that. And then I'll just pop a butter knife in there, and in there. Please come up nicely for me. There we go, look at that. Geez, that's probably the easiest one that's ever come apart for me, to be honest. Okay, now you can actually pull it up just like that. Now, you can lift it and it will pop out, but I really don't like doing that. But you've got to be careful around the front here when you're using any sort of prying tool, because you can actually mark it up and put marks on there. But I'm a professional, so it shouldn't do that. I hope. Maybe I'm not a professional. Here's one. Now here we go. What we've got to do here is you've got 4 connectors for your front sensors and your camera. So there's a connector there, one there, one there, and one there. They have to be disconnected. You've also got this power lead here which has to be disconnected, and you've got 2 screws in there and in there. And this also has to be taken off here. Now that's a Phillips head screwdriver. I would suggest keeping all of these screws separate so we don't lose where they are. I'll just pop that out. And that just pops up. Beautiful. Now what I do with these, I just get my tweezers and generally just wriggle it out. Duke, Duke. Oh dear. There we go. That's the power to the camera. Now, just pop these out here. And 2 at the front. Now this has got a heap of glue on it. There's one. You can see all that glue on there, the black stuff there. It's like a silicone type thing. I need to get that off. There we go, she's popped off. Okay, so these 2 screws here, you don't touch these 2 screws here because they're there for the front sensors. So we'll just pop these out here. Here we go. It was just a little bit. So there's a little bit of silicone that was just holding the top part in. But now we'll just pop that. Now just be careful of the power cord, make sure that that comes out with it nicely, like that. And there is your gimbal assembly. And what we'll be doing is doing exactly the same thing to the second drone, and we'll be popping that one in, and hopefully everything will work. I'll be popping this one into my old drone. Alright, we're just going to get onto that, and then we'll just put it all back together. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually changed the gimbals over now. We have the gimbal. This is the one off my old Mavic, and now it's put into this one. I've replaced. It's easy enough to do. Just slip it back up and put this power cord back up through the guts there. I've put the 2 Phillips heads in the front there just to hold everything in. I've put another Phillips head here. There'll be another one going on here. And then we'll be clipping these connectors back to where they came from, and that power back into there. And then what will be happening is we will be popping the body back on. Actually, we won't pop the body back on. I'll just hook the battery onto it while it's open, and we'll check out to see if the gimbal's working. And I'll put it on the Go4 app as well, just to make sure there's no errors, etc. Alright, so I'm just going to rip this back together, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so we have got everything back in place now. Before I hook it up to the Go4 app, I'm just going to, because what I want to do is actually test all the GPS and everything as well. But you can only do that once you put the top cover back on, because the GPS is actually situated here, and that's what that plugs into. So I'm just going to pop the battery in, and we're going to check this gimbal out to see if it actually works. It'd be nice just check these connectors again, make sure they're all in nice and tight. Screws are all in. Yep, so anyway, I'll pop this battery in. Okay, so let's see if it turns on. Holy moly, Batman. Oh, dude, that is a camera transplant by Dr. Matt, and it looks like it's working okay. So we'll power this off, we'll put it all back together, and we might even chuck it up out the front to see how we go. Okay, so what we've done here is just pop this plug back in here. That's for your GPS, so you just do that first before you you clip it back on again, and then it should just pop down on the front there, and you just clip it together. Here we go. So you clip it together. You clip them to the sides as well. Yeah, that's all together. Now all we do then is put these screws back in. All good. Now we flip it over. Now if you can remember, the two bigger screws go into these slots here, and then we have and obviously at the front there too there's another two either side, and then the smaller screws, which we kept separate, will be putting and holding the little flap on. So there you have it. That is the gimbal replacement of these two Mavics. And as you can see, this one here is nice and straight. So that came off of my old drone, which actually had a crash, but the gimbal's fine. And this one here, which I've just powered up, is off center, and you cannot straighten that camera up at all. So yeah, we're just chucking it on this this drone here. Everything seems to be working fine on the new one. So what we'll do, we'll just power this up and we'll just put it outside, make sure we get GPS on it, etc., and make sure that it's focusing and all that sort of biz, and hopefully that will be the end of that job. Okay, so here we've got Tony here. He's got a face for radio, not really for video, but he's we're testing out the Mavic now to see if everything works with the camera, etc., etc. What I'll be doing is putting the screen record on, just to, and I'll pop that up so you can have a look at all the info that pops up on it. Now we're right. Okay, so just test all your bloody your focus and shit. Gimbal's working. Okay, so there you have it, the gimbal replacement. So that's my old drone there, the one that went for a swim, and there's the camera that doesn't work, and it still doesn't work. Let me tell you, it had nothing to do with the drone itself. And there's my old camera on the new drone, which is working absolutely perfectly, as you can see by the footage that I just popped up. So any questions, drop me a line, drop a comment, and I'll try and answer anything. Anyway, you have fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.